Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of Enlightened Entrepreneurs. Today's interview is sponsored by World Outsourcing Solutions, a company that specializes with providing virtual employees to business owners around the world. And today I'm very excited to be talking to Jeff Liscum on a very important topic that I feel you as a business owner need to master if you're going to have some success when it comes to marketing your business. Now, Jeff has been in the industry for a long time. In fact, he has had a career in marketing and advertising and has worked with multiple businesses to expand and grow their businesses by creating new and effective ideas for marketing. Now, Jeff is a certified strength strategy coach utilizing Strength Finder 2.0 and Entrepreneur Profile 10 in his coaching philosophy. One of the things I love about Jeff is he's a dynamic coach that brings ideas out of people in ways they are not accustomed to, and he gets results basically, and he's all the way from the US. Jeff, welcome to the call.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks again for joining us and being here to talk about the mistakes that business owners need to avoid when it comes to marketing.
We'll try and help them out as best we can, right?
Yes. Well, Jeff, one of the things I admire about you is your longevity in the same industry of marketing. How did you get into this industry?
Well, years ago when I got into marketing, I always had this kind of interesting thing. I had a love of marketing way back in college.
Right.
And that even when in my studies, my off time was spent looking at marketing magazines. So I had an opportunity back in 2000 to get into advertising. So I looked into it and got into the industry and really enjoyed what I got to do to help business owners brand themselves and put themselves into the market so people could relate to them and they could really have an impact in growing their business.
Right. And since then, you've been in the marketing for that long and haven't deviated at all.
Yeah. At this point, from marketing, and of course, I also do coaching as well.
Correct.
With business owners and entrepreneurs.
Yes.
So that's been just an added plus to what I love to do is helping business owners grow their business.
Incredible. And you actually run your own company as well. Talk to us about that for a moment.
Mm-hmm. Well, our business is present perspective coaching, and what we do is we work with entrepreneurs and small business owners in the areas of understanding their talents and strengths in business so we can help them to better build quality teams and help them avoid the pitfalls of growing businesses, because we know businesses fail, as we like to say, businesses don't fail on the street, they actually fail in the boardroom. That's when the businesses actually are sink and swim is the decisions people make. So we can help them avoid poor decisions and help them understand the decisions that they're actually making. Are they best for them, or do they understand their best ideas that they can come up with, and what team partners they need to help them produce the best results?
Incredible. I love what you say there about, the company either made or broken in the boardroom. It's so true, because, when the leadership is in the right place and they're doing really well, the whole team will just follow suit. It's amazing how that works.
Exactly.
John Maxwell put it this way, organization rise and falls with leadership, which I find very interesting.
Yeah, and a lot of people are still stuck between what leadership is and what management is. And
yes.
So there's a distinct difference. And so helping people understand that leadership is not management. So
incredible. Now, Jeff, before we jump on to the marketing tactics that we're going to be sharing with people, I want to talk to you like as a business owner, because, when you talk to us as a business owner, we relate to you more than just in advice you give. When you started your business, Jeff, what sort of challenges did you face, if any?
Well, some of the challenges we had when we started our business was really having people understand the importance of establishing coaching within their business.
Right.
We grew up as kids having coaches in athletics, and those coaches helped us get better in our athletic endeavors. The one thing that we've never done is we've never actually sought out people for coaching in business.
Right.
We always work under the mantra of, just work harder, persevere, nose to the grindstone, all those catchphrases we use.
Yeah, put in the hours, as they say. Put in the hours.
Put in the hours. Put in the hours. But the interesting thing is as you know, is you can put in the hours, but if you're putting your hours in the wrong place, you're not getting ahead like you need to. And so what our challenge has been is letting people understand it's okay to know that you're not going to do everything great in your business. Right. But let's help you discover what greatness that you have, that you do best in the business, and then let's fill in those gap areas with people that can do those things just a little bit better than you can. Not every part, no one plays every role on a team sport. So what makes us think that we can play every role in a business, at the highest level? Doesn't mean that you aren't going to have to play some roles that probably aren't you. We're not saying that. You will probably have to do some things that just aren't naturally you. But let's understand where those parts of your business are, so we can get that off your plate as soon as possible.
That's right.
And then get the people in those roles and positions to help your business grow and prosper the way you want them to.
Correct. And it's amazing how business takes a turn for the good when you know what your skills are and what you're good at and what you enjoy, and then you let others take over what they enjoy. It really is amazing.
Yes, that's the thing that you really see. If we had always focused on our strengths and our talent in business, we'd have people be way more successful than we currently do. When we look at businesses succeeding and not succeeding, you realize that, like I said before, the failure happens in the boardroom, and it just typically happens because of what we talk about as a failed business philosophy. You use your own best thinking to do something in business, and sometimes your own best thinking isn't the highest level of thinking in that particular area. It doesn't make you bad. It just means that you just aren't naturally gifted in that area, so you just don't naturally ask the questions that make that part of the business succeed. So you need to know that, and then if there's someone that you can go to, an advisor, that person can help you, or someone even on your current team. They may be gifted and skilled in that area, and you need to take advantage of that person in that particular area so your business will have success.
Absolutely. And looking back to those early years when you were starting out, how did you go about getting your very first client?
Well, it's actually quite interesting. When we first started, we actually really just asked people we knew. Knowing people, small business owners, we just asked them, give us an opportunity just to coach with you and help you identify areas of your business that we can help build upon and help your business. And that was our lead in. That also helped us in developing our business, because we needed the hours of coaching for certifications. So when coaching with people, that helped us kind of twofold. And then from there, what we've done is we've just built a network of business owners, both here and across the country, with contacts we already have made, and then that's how we have just slowly and steadily grown.
Absolutely. I love that natural, organic growth in any company is even sustainable. And if you are listening maybe for the very first time, we are talking to Jeff Liscum and on one important topic, which I feel is very important because it affects me as a business owner, and I'm sure it affects you as well. Jeff, one of the things I've discovered in what you've just covered there, that's organic, starting with the people that you know, is when you do your job well, or you serve your existing clients so well, it's natural for them to become your raving fans and salespeople, so to speak. Uh-huh. How have you discovered this? Is that true in your situation as well?
Well, that is, and what we look to gain, because you've got to have deliver results on their end and helping them to see where they have improvements in the business. And once that occurs, they really have been, like I said, our greatest cheerleaders. Right. And the ones that will tout us to other people to let them know that we've helped them in their business. So we definitely lean upon that. And then we part of that too is you ask for the person that we've coached with. We've asked for testimonials and recommendations that we can use, because when you're in a business like this, there's not a tangible product exchange. it really is idea driven. So unlike selling coffee tables and chairs, when they hire us, there is no physical transaction. So it is seeing things that occur in the bottom line. So
Right.
referral and testimonial is huge in this industry.
Incredible. And moving on from those early stages, how do you now market your coaching business? You've grown, you've been in it for some time.
Yeah, so what we do now is we market ourselves through our Facebook page, and we use Twitter as well, and we post up on Instagram, and starting to get involved with Snapchat and focusing some. More recently, we're looking to focus more on LinkedIn to reach a lot of the business executives that we want to work with and some of the small business owners, because LinkedIn is an area for us that business management and owners will be easily accessible for our needs and our purposes and our way to help. So LinkedIn is starting to be our next entry point into the business world.
I can tell from the way you explain it that you've done this stuff, and it's always good to talk to people who have actually done this or who are actually doing this stuff. Let's jump on to the marketing advertising as per se. What one mistake that you see business owners make when it comes to an area of advertising their jobs or their businesses, so to speak?
Well, I'd say one of the biggest mistakes is not knowing what they want to accomplish in the advertising. And I'd probably say, I would say probably number one is actually being sold advertising from somebody who is in the industry of advertising. Right. That's probably one of the biggest mistakes they make, is they are sold it without actually having knowledge of why they're getting involved in it. The digital world is now, as kind of say, the new frontier, and someone's always calling a business owner to get involved, and every time they get called, you're always late. You should have started yesterday, and because you're starting today, your business is going to fail, and you better start with us right now, this minute. Don't hesitate. And if you get enough of those calls, then business owners have become to believe, well, goodness, I have to do that. And reality is you need to understand, why are you getting involved with this particular digital media? And who's the end user of this digital media, and are they your client? And you really need to understand that first and foremost, because if you jump out there or if you're advertising to a millennial clientele and they don't really buy your product, it really doesn't suit to sell retirement, or I would say above 60 products to 20 somethings when they aren't buying. So. Yes. It just really is imperative that business owners really understand. It's not that they have to become expert in that particular digital medium per se, but they do need to understand what's the end goal and purpose of it, and that's imperative. And that's a mistake that have seen a lot of businesses make.
And I can understand why business owners would get to that, is because they want to catch up with what is happening. They're told things are moving really fast. You need to catch up.
And everybody has a smartphone. I mean, I totally get it. It makes sense.
Yes.
When it first saw Facebook come out, people wanted to jump on Facebook and just advertise it. Yes. And there was nothing wrong with being on Facebook. It wasn't that. It was understanding why you were doing it.
Yes.
And who was your market, just to do it and blindly put money in it for no apparent thought going into it, other than someone sold it to you because that was their product or service. Did you know why you said yes? And what was it going to provide for you when you did it? And that was a conversation that they never got to have. It was just exposure. Like buying ads on Google. They were just buying impressions, and they didn't know where they were going, who was going to be the person. They were just buying, eyeballs, I kind of call it. And buying eyeballs of a 10-year-old doesn't really do a business any good, because they don't buy enough if they're not selling to 10-year-old.
That's correct. A follow-on question to that is, what are the consequences of falling into that part of thinking or making these mistakes?
Well, and that's interesting. That's really how we ended up kind of in our coaching businesses. Is your own best thinking tends to lead you astray. right? So if you aren't as well versed in those areas of business, then you're going to make decisions that aren't best suited for your business. And that's when people have seen troubles in business. And like I said, that's what happens in the boardroom. It wasn't what happened on the street that failed them. It's what happened in the boardroom for those decisions. And their own best thinking has gotten in their way. And how do you know that? How do you know your own best thinking is getting in your way? And that's something that as business owners and even entrepreneurs, whether it be small businesses or even large businesses, if you don't know where your talent lies in business, you're going to mess up at some point. And I hate to use the word mess up, but it's what occurs is you're going to make some mistakes that you don't realize until it's later, and how it's negatively impacted your business and marketing, just because of the years I was in it exposed me to see that with business owners so much on a regular basis.
Incredible. And what should they do instead? What is the process to avoid this particular mistake?
Well, how we work our way in the coaching is we work with entrepreneurs and really developing a team with a coach to have them identify what works best for them in their business.
Right.
That's the one thing as a coach is you're outside. You're an outside observer. We don't coach people to tell them what time frame they need to do things. We're not here to be stopwatch junkies. We really sit there and want you to understand who you are in business, and then help you identify your own best thinking and who on the team can help you grow your business with their best thinking. So what we bring to the table is we want to make sure that they understand what their talent is in business, because there are talents in business, and people have not realized that it's really become a science now that you can identify talent in business. It's innate. It's something you're born with.
Right.
And now you can identify it. Now you can help develop it. It's no different than you're there in England, being not American football, but we'll talk European football. So in football, you know if you're going to play the goaltender, or if you're going to be a field, someone who plays the field.
Yes,
you've got to know your talent, right? And you can't just put on a jersey and say, I'm going to play for a team there in England. If you do that, then they're going to test you in some form or fashion.
That's right.
So in business, there's been no test. Not to say that you can, or not that you're going to be successful or unsuccessful, but it's just to identify where's your role in the business need to be best suited. And that's what we help people identify. Where's your role? And let's build upon that role. You don't have to be the most talented person in business as long as you understand where your talents are in business and get the right team around you to fulfill, field the team that best suited to grow your business. And once you field the right team, then success can better be achieved.
Absolutely. The thing that differentiates people who are doing so well is, what you've just covered there, knowing your role and having a great team around you, and together you make things happen. Really, it is just that simple to put it across. But as you and I know, it's not always as simple to put that particular team together. But with persistence and coach, you'll be able to identify those things that needs to be put together. Let's jump on to the second, so to speak, a marketing and a promotional mistake that you see business owner make. You have to discuss with our audience today.
Well, kind of the second thing that I see is people don't have the ways to identify where their marketing advertising dollar is being spent. Meaning, how do you know the success of it? Is it just impressions, or are you actually, especially in the digital marketing or any medium, is how are you identifying the people that are seeing you and viewing you, and how are you communicating with them? Business owners aren't communicating with people that come in contact with what they're doing in their marketing and advertising.
Right.
It honestly doesn't even matter if it's a door hanger or something you send in the mail even. If you're contacting people, if you're touching people, there's a touch point. What are you doing to track it to know its success? And that's something that business owners are failing themselves failing themselves in their business when they don't know what's being effective and what it takes to build dialogue with their customers and their clients. Just touching them with, in the marketing and then not knowing what it's doing, it's really almost a wasted dollar that's going out there into the world.
Absolutely.
Just hoping to find its way back to you. And,
Yes.
and it's just, again, with there being so many ways to reach people, you can't afford to send it out there kind of into the world and then hope it comes back in return. You want to know exactly what those mediums are doing for you to see how successful they are.
Absolutely. Knowing your numbers really is the key for success, because you could be spending a lot of energy and money and time on something that is not producing a good rate of return. It may seem fancy at the time you're doing it, but really and truly in the long run, it's not doing anything, but you're putting 80% of your time there. So knowing your numbers as a business owner is very, very important.
Absolutely.
And my mentor put it this way. He said, what you cannot measure, you cannot change or correct. And if you can't correct it, you won't get to the results. And I thought, that is profound. And are there any tips, Jeff, on how business owner can put such measures in their marketing or promotional efforts?
Well, some of the things that I would tell people is in their marketing promotions is get involved in some sort of tracking system. So whether it's a CRM system, those are so valuable these days. Their investments are low budget. You don't have to spend the greatest amount of money to get involved with them. And a lot of them are scalable, so they can start really, really, really inexpensively. Some of them may even be free. Just shop around and find one that fits your business and your needs. And just like I said, do a little homework with those and put a little thought into how they can help you track your advertising and marketing. And the return on them will far greatly outperform just sending out kind of blanket advertising and marketing to the world without any kind of tracking. It takes a little time on the front end, but the back end will be well worth the energy.
In my experience of running a business, is every time we track things properly, even the people that are working on it, they actually see the results that they're producing from their effort. And even if you have that with a service provider, you can evaluate whether you need their service or not, rather than just to go blindly.
Yes. I can say, speaking from experience, I worked with an auto dealer in 1 year, and he saved himself. And this, like I said, this is just a local auto dealer. He saved himself one marketing area about $250,000 in advertising. Just
wow.
in the span of in about 6 weeks, he knew that this wasn't a medium for him, and he pulled it. Now, what that would have cost him, he was looking at least 12 months before he would, if he wasn't talked into it by the sales rep into keeping it longer, he was at least 12 months out before he would realize it wasn't working, to his benefit. And then what he did is he took those dollars and used them in another area that he saw results in a matter of 4 or 5 weeks.
Right.
So he took those dollars and moved them to another area and saw results and could then justify that advertising investment. And like I said, for years, advertising was never an investment. It was an expense.
Right.
Well, now because of tracking and you can make it have accountable, you can actually turn it from what used to be an expense and now is an asset. But you have to do the things to track it to make sure it is an asset. And then when you can have a particular service out there that you're tracking and it's producing results, it's much easier to start something new to advertise in another area when you know that another area is producing for you. One of the biggest mistakes people will do is they'll move dollars around to kind of the newest thing, the newest shiny object, and you don't know what your old advertising was doing for you because you didn't track it. Now you're going to try something new. how is this new going to perform? Is it going to perform as well as your old? Or is it going to perform better or worse? You don't even know because you don't know what your current advertising is doing for you. So, yeah, if you're tracking it, you see exactly what it's doing for you and how it affects your bottom line.
Incredible. Still on the subject of tracking on there, are there any key areas you would recommend business owners to track or the main touch points that they really need to be watchful for?
Well, some key ones are going to definitely be start with your website. Know who's coming to your website. Put some measures in place on your website to know who those people are, because if they've made it there first, if it's being marketed in any way, you want to know, one, where they're coming from, so
right.
what pathway they're using to get to your website, but then you also want to know what their interests are when they come to your website. I talked about for a number of years, you don't have a store where people walk through and you don't know what door they came in or what they looked at and left. I mean, that's a bad way to have a business. And do they like anything in your store? I mean, there's always a salesperson in a store that asks you, what do you need help with? How can I help you? You want to try that on? Is there any questions you have? Those are things that people are always looking for. And if your website doesn't have some form or fashion of doing that, I know this is, again, touch points on the website, but that's where you want to start is on your website, have something that's going to allow people to have dialogue with you. And then outside of your website, then you want to make sure that whatever pathways that lead people to your business, you can track those as best you can and know that whatever you're marketing to your website, know what those pathways are. You need to know, again, how your dollars are being spent outside of the digital world, because those digital platforms can get pretty expensive if you don't watch it. At the same time, you could have a pathway that's inexpensive and you had no idea that it was producing you good results.
Absolutely. And maybe a final one before we come toward the end of our time together. Any really obvious mistake or mistake that business owners think they're doing well in, but yet in the long term, it was just a mistake? Is there anything like that?
Trying to do it themselves.
Trying to do it themselves. That's right.
That's again, we're talking about know your role. If you're the business owner and if you are a technician in your business, or if you're an attorney, your time needs to be spent being a lawyer or being a doctor, being a plumber, whatever your business is. If it's a retail establishment, you need to be that.
Right.
You don't need to try and be a digital media marketing expert. If you're going to do that, realize that the time and energy it's going to take for you to do it. It's much cheaper to have someone that you can hire to do it. Do a cost-benefit analysis. Again, decisions that happen in the boardroom are what make you and break you. So realize how much your hour time is worth. Realize how many hours it's going to take for you to get involved in being the digital marketing person. And know, what can I invest in someone else? Again, you may have to do some things on the front end because you don't have the budget. But understand, too, when do I need to get that off my plate? When do I need to put this in someone else's hands that is more of an expert and can do this on a daily basis? Know when that time is. Don't try and hold on to things too long. Advertising is no different than anything else in the business. So recognize where your expertise is. Try not to be the digital expert, because that's going to get you in a lot of trouble. It's going to take your time and energy away from what your real business is. And again, then your business starts failing because you're trying to be something that you're not. Exactly.
Well, Jeff, as we come toward the end of our time together, I know some people would certainly want to connect with you, find out more about what you do and how maybe you can work together. Can we talk about that for a moment?
Yeah, absolutely. My business is Prism Perspective Coaching, and our website is prismperspective.us. And that's how they can reach us online there. They can also reach us on Facebook at Prism Perspective Coaching. And even find us on Instagram at Prism Perspective Coaching as well.
Right.
And we're always happy to help people building their partnerships and their team. Our coaching is dedicated to helping people find the best team partners.
Right.
And with those partnerships, we help you identify the talents first, because that's what we do. We want people to be in their most talent and strength areas that fit them most. And then from there, we help them grow their businesses and be successes.
Right. Absolutely incredible. Is there anything, Jeff, about marketing that you would like to share that I've not asked you about at this point?
As far as marketing, what I just have kind of a takeaway
Yes.
Is don't be scared of a changing world as a business owner. The digital world is different than, and now we're more and more inclined to realize that digital marketing is ever changing, but don't be afraid of the change. Ask questions. Don't jump into everything just kind of haphazardly. Get information. Talk to multiple sources before you take a leap and add to your advertising budget, and make sure whatever you're doing fits you and your business. That's a key takeaway.
Incredible. Well, Jeff, thank you so much for that. It's been absolutely wonderful having you on the show, and you've helped a lot of people today with those strategies. Now, if you were listening and you want that website again for Jeff, you just need to go to www.perspective.us. You'll be able to connect with Jeff there, or you can find Jeff on LinkedIn and any other social media platform. You just need to type in Jeff Liscum, Liscum, and you'll be able to connect with him there. And Jeff, one of the things I know about you is you are pro giving to the society, or being socially responsible. Would you share with our audience about your views and beliefs around the area?
Absolutely. Yes. We've been involved with the American Cancer Society and Relate for Life.
Right.
And so we definitely believe in helping out people and giving back. So I've been involved with them and helping to put on a local event here in Oklahoma City is where I'm at. So we've helped with the relay itself, and I've been a part of the lead of Bring the People. So getting other businesses involved and helping them to have teams, and helping them to raise money and awareness for cancer research has been a big part of it. And part of it goes back to my father had cancer about 5 years ago. We lost him to cancer, and also had an aunt that passed away from cancer as well. So it's a big part of a push for me. And so find a cause for yourself. If you're not doing that, it's always helps you personally. Give you kind of strength to know that you're helping others. So we make it a point to give back to the community.
Incredible. Well, Jeff, thank you so much for sharing that with us, and we would like to wish you success in your future program, and reaching out to other people as well. And for you, business owner, thank you for joining us, and I hope you have learned one or two things from Jeff, and you're going to implement that. I certainly have been writing notes, and I love the way Jeff has clarified some of those challenging issues that we face, and make them so simple for us to understand. With that said, I'm your Kai Kajidori, and thanks again for joining Enlightened Entrepreneur. I'd like to invite you to check out worldoutsourcingsolutions.com for any outsourcing needs. Jeff was talking about having the team around you. Go to that site. You'll be able to find additional virtual assistants that may be able to become part of your team, and you also have opportunity to learn about other business growth systems that are available there as well. With that said, have a great day, Jeff, and everyone. I wish you all the success today.
Thank you.